everyone, and welcome back to Jacqs. Thanks for joining me today for the tutorial or kind of walkthrough of how I created the holiday planner using Country Craft Creations Christmas Cheer Retro Christmas Collection. So as I walk you through this, to see the exact order of how I have the categories and pages, you can refer to the reveal video, which you may have already seen by now. So I hope you enjoy this. Let's get started. The digital pages will print out in a landscape format, and there's really nothing you have to do than to cut down the center at 5.5. The way I created these was so that it would be very easy to put together. So that's why we use the 8.5 by 11 size and cut in half at 5.5. Now for the calendar, you want to make sure you put the two pages facing each other so that when you open it up, you have the spread of the calendar. And then after that, the holiday events and activity sheets. And I included one of each page in the digital file, and then you can print as many as you need. So now we're going to talk about the tabs to create for the dividing of the sections. So what I did was went into Cricut Design Space. I found a tab style that I liked. I liked the larger tab, and then I used that to cut out my decorative paper. And then I also cut out this green cardstock color so that it would also strengthen the divider page. I also created a pocket. So what you end up having is your decor piece, a colored cardstock of your choosing. I chose green because it seemed to go with everything. And then for the pocket, you have one piece, and this measures 5.5 by 3 1/4. And I also cut out this little piece so that we could create a border at the top of the pocket. I just thought that would be really nice. So again, all of these are in my Cricut Design Space file, which I will have for you in the description box. So I'm going to put one of these divider pages together for you, but I did want you to know the measurements. With the tab, it is about 6 inches across, just slightly over that, and it is 8.5 inches long. We're first going to put these two pieces together. Now the way that I did it was I went down about 1/2 inch from the top, and that's where I'm going to join the two pieces together. Now if you find that the top piece is going over the edge of the decorative paper, then just go ahead and trim that off. So let's set this aside, and now I'm going to attach these two together. And really all I'm doing is just adding adhesive to the back side. You can use tape adhesive. I just chose to use wet glue. Okay, and now we can put these two together. Just line them up. And I would definitely check the back side as well to make sure you're lining it up correctly so that they match. And then they look good, go ahead and burnish. Now that we have this together, I did go around the edges with black archival ink just so that it would knock the white back a little bit so it wouldn't be so stark on the edges. On the back side, we're going to take our two pieces that we connected, and then we're going to add adhesive to 3 sides and make it a pocket. When you go to adhere this, just make sure you have the front and your piece in the right orientation. And then just add it to the bottom. Again, make sure it's all lined up and give it a burnish. And there's our divider. Now the next thing you could do is add a label here, which is probably what I will do. So go ahead and do the same process for the rest of your dividers, and I created 5. but however you want to divide this, you can, and create as many dividers as you wish. Okay, so I have gone ahead and created all of my dividers. I've created labels for each of the dividers based on what my printout says. So this is gift giving tracker, and then that's what you'll see underneath it. I've also created some sub dividers, and these are for other portions that's in this particular section, but the tabs themselves are smaller in width as well as length. So you see they'll be underneath the larger tab, which is what I wanted, so that you couldn't really see them until you turn the page, and then you would see them. So not all the sections have subdivider tabs, only specific ones, depending on what I have underneath that tab. But I wanted to make sure to tell you that. Again, I have these dividers in the Cricut file as well as the labels. Then I also created 2 top loading tabs, and these will be for the calendar. I have November and December here. And then it will just be easier to flip right to the calendar when you're at the beginning of the book. Okay, I want to take a moment and talk about the front and back cover. I won't be actually putting this together with you, but I want to walk you through what I've done. So to protect our beautiful paper, what I did was cut out 2 acetate pieces that will go on the front before the decorative piece. And these measure 6 1/8 by 8 and 9/16. I wanted to go slightly over the 8.5 mark so that it would fully cover our cover. So we have those. And then for the front cover, what I did was I added a piece of the decorative paper, and I kind of wanted it to look like a notebook, maybe like a composition book. So I added a strip of green paper here, and this is about 1 1/8 inches long by 8.5. And then I just glued that here on the side just to kind of break up all the pattern, give your eyes a place to rest. And then for the label, I created this in Cricut Design Space. I used the markers to even print out the tabs as well as this holiday planner here. And I just really kind of like that there is stitching here which mirrors that's in the decorative paper. I like the red being the prominent color here. I tried this in black, but I just thought it was too much and it kind of dimmed the vibrancy of the colors. So I went with red, and I think that was a really great choice. So I really like that. I did pop that up on some foam dot just so that it would be ever so slightly lifted up. But I really like that. I wanted the girl on the front, and there she is. I thought about even fussy cutting her out and putting it on top here to bring dimension to her. But I really don't want too dimension to this because this is something that you could actually put in your bag, carry with you if you wanted. So you really don't want too much bulkiness, or at least I didn't. So that's just how I did it. On the inside of the cover, I just added a piece of the decorative paper here, and this measures 3 3/4 by 8.5. And I just have a nice little side pocket here. I put in one of the journaling cards that came in the collection. And so that's the front cover. For the back cover, I basically did the same thing. I added a decorative piece here. I did my strip. Now for the back strip, I did it a little bit bigger. And this is 1 3/8 inch by 8.5. I just wanted a smaller strip in the front. I don't know, there was just something about it visually that needed to be smaller in my opinion. So I really like how this turned out with that strip of green. It works out really well. And then on the inside we have that green color again, and then I just added this little element that I fussy cut out, North Pole. I think that's really cute for the end of the planner. So that's the covers. When you print out the planner, there is a cover sheet, and it will have this holiday planner with a touch of retro Christmas created by Jacqs scraps. Now this is on its own single page, but I did double-side it with the calendar. You don't have to do that. It's just something that I did. You could just totally not even include that in your holiday planner. This is just so you know where it came from. And then on the inside, we start the calendar, and I did start with a blank calendar month, just in cases of whenever this might get used. So this will go there. I am going to use my little divider here. Now I did do it to where you could tuck something down in here if you wanted. And then I have the rest of the calendar and my holiday and events activities. And then it goes into the December. And I actually am putting, maybe I will put December here. I am using a dated month here, but then I included some blank ones as well. And then I go on with my tabs, the files that I printed out. In some places I double-sided them, such as this one, but there are some cases, such as this card one, where I didn't double-side it. But you can certainly do, you know, whichever way that you prefer. Sometimes I don't always like writing over here, so that's why I did some of them this way and then some back to back. It just depended on what it was. I think you would need more gift giving than you would a card and invitation list. So that is the planner and how I created it. I am going to be using a cinch to bind this together. So let's get ready and I'll show you a little bit of that. So the cinch machine that I have creates these square holes. I just really wanted something different than circles when I bought it, and I still love that I chose that. So this is from We Are Memory Keepers, and I'm just going to push down, take this off so we can raise this. I'm just going to kind of walk through how I'm using this, because if I was to actually do the punching, I think you would get a lot of waviness in the camera. Okay, I've tested this, but I'm going to run through it with you just so that you can see what I've used it as. So here's my test. It came out okay, but I'm going to do the other side. So with the ruler, which moves all the way in, you put your paper in, and then you punch. Then you move out your paper and you come down here and look at the size. So the size is 8.5 and it says number 5. So we move this sliding ruler all the way out, and then we pull out number 5. We take our paper, we line it up with the edge of the ruler out here, and then we punch. We pull this out, and now we have all of our holes. So I'm going to go ahead and punch all of the planner pages that I've created and get this ready to be bound. So all my holes are punched now, and I've decided to use a 1-inch binding wire, and these are from We Are Memory Keepers. What I did was counted how many holes that I had to determine how much wire that I needed, and there are 16 holes, so I counted 16 of these. And then we're going to add it to the side of our cinch, like that. We'll take our bottom cover and acetate piece, since those are both considered the back cover, and we're going to flip those so that they're face to face with the front cover. Because how you put it on is your pages, and then your front cover, and then your back cover. So I'm just going to go ahead and start loading these on. And since this will take me some time to do, I'll just come back when I have it ready. Okay, all my pages are loaded, and I'm putting on the front cover, my acetate for the front cover, and then the acetate for my back cover. And then my back cover. And again, you're putting on the inside of the back cover facing up. Your front and your back cover should be facing each other. Okay, now we can take this off. So I've swung the cinch around. We need to now change it to where the little pointer here will be at 1, since that's where the size of our wire is. Oh, and the first thing I want to do is kind of curl these ends under. There, just kind of curled it under there like that. And the same there. They just get a little sharp sometimes. Okay, now what we're going to do is put this in the back of the cinch machine right here. It will go this way with the opening to the back of the machine. Then we pull the handle down and it closes the wires together. Now, because this is so long, I'm going to do one part and then another part. Okay. Okay, so it pulled them together. Now, if you like the wires to be closer together, then change your positioning here and then do it again. Yeah, see, I like mine to be closer together because I find sometimes they come out. There, I like that. Okay, now for the moment of truth, let's move our back cover to the back side of our planner. And there is our planner. All right, that is the construction of our holiday planner. Thank you for joining me for this tutorial, and I hope that you give this a try. I would love to see yours, and I know this is going to be really handy. I can't wait to use it. Thanks, everyone. See you next time.